Hey everybody, I thought I would film a short screencast on measurement conversion. So these particular notes will help you in terms of completing today's task as well as the task that follows next day. Okay, so have a watch through, pause where you feel you need to, and by all means take pictures, take photos for your phone if you need to. Okay, so let's talk about measurement conversion. And let's see exactly how we can do the following. So one thing I'd like you to be able to do is to convert feet and inches all to one unit. So let's say completely to inches. So for example, let's say that we have, in terms of feet and inches, I'm going to make a little table here. So let's say that one of our measurements is 40 feet. So 40 feet, that's the symbol for feet, and 6 inches. Okay, so typically that would be written as 40 feet, 6 inches. Okay, so let's say we want to convert that into entirely into inches. So let's convert to inches. All right, so what we need to know is the following. Many of us already know this fact, and that is 1 foot is the equivalent of 12 inches. So if we happen to have 40 feet, okay, then we can appreciate we would have to multiply 12 inches by 40 in order to get number of inches, which would be 480 inches. Right? 4 12s are 48 with a multiplied by 10, right? As it's 4 by 10, 480 inches. So there's one example of how to do that. Another thing we want to try, okay, is not simply to convert all to inches, but another example we could do is the following. Let's take the same measurement, so 40 feet, 6 inches. So let's convert that to a decimal form or to decimal form. Okay. Now I've seen this done many times. So here comes the mistake. Okay, so here's the misconception. Right, so this does happen. I don't want you to do this. So I might see 40 foot, 6 inches is 40.6 feet. Okay, so that's, that's not right. That's wrong. Okay, the reason why that's incorrect, okay, and you might know this part already, is that the 6 inches, right, that's not in terms of tenths, but really it's 6 out of 12. So 6/12 of a foot, right? Because of the fact, remember we wrote over here that 1 foot is 12 inches. So any smaller portion of a foot is going to be a fraction that has a denominator of 12. So what I'm trying to say is that 40 foot, 6 inches is 40 feet plus 6/12 of a foot. Now, if we put that fraction into a decimal form, that's 40 feet plus 1/2, or 0.5 feet. So you have 40.5 feet. Okay, see the difference? So it's not 40.6, as was shown here, but rather it has to be 40.5 feet. So there is a way of converting feet and inches into a decimal form. Now, something else you want to be aware of is this. Let's wrap up with a couple quick ones here. Let's say that your measurement is 25 foot, 4 inch. Well, going all to inches, that would be 25 feet times 12 inches per foot. Right? Do that first and then add on 4 more inches. So what that's going to give you, what's that, 300, 25 12s, that's 300. 10 25s is 250 plus 2 more, so 300 plus the 4, so 304 inches. Now on the decimal side of the problem, 25 foot 4 inches, that's the equivalent of 25 feet plus 4/12 of a foot. So that's 25 feet plus, that's 1/3 in lowest terms. Oops, that should be feet, that's the wrong symbol. Let's change that, guys. So that's 4/12 of a foot. There we go, much better. So 25 and 1/3 feet, and in decimal form, 25.3 repeated. So repeated. So that's how you would convert that type of measurement into a decimal form. Now, last but not least, one more thing. This is going to come up later on, and in quick review, perimeter area. I think we're really great with rectangles, triangles, and a number of different figures. But if you do happen to come across the following, oops, 2 pi r, that's the circumference of a circle with radius r. Okay, and circumference is the distance around. You also have another formula. That would be pi r squared. That's your area. And then pi is approximately 3 or 3.14. So if we did an example where the radius was equal to, say, I don't know, 2 units, we could calculate the circumference as 2 times pi times 2. So 2 2s are 4, that's 4 pi. And you could leave it like that as an exact number, and that would be in terms of units, just units itself, because it's circumference. If you want to get a decimal from that, we could substitute 3.14 for pi and do the multiplication, and you would end up with 12 point, let's see here, 4 times 14, that's 56, so 12.56 units. Now, as far as area is concerned, if you have to deal with that, pi r squared, just so happens that it's going to be quite similar here. This is interesting. Reason being is that the radius is also 2. 2 squared is the same as 2 times 2. I'm going to change the radius on this one just to make it different. Let's go with 3. So pi times 3 squared. Remember that 3 squared, that's 3 by 3, not 3 times 2. So we end up with 9 pi. That's units squared. Okay, which is also, if you needed a decimal, we'll just multiply that by 3.14, and we'll end up with a particular answer. So 9 3s are 27. What's that going to be? Let's grab the calculator here. We could probably do a little mental math. 9 by 3.14, 28.26. And that's units squared. So meters squared, feet squared, squared inches, squared yards, it could be anything. Okay, so there's a real quick review of measurement conversion and the use of area and perimeter with circles.